Welcome back to Shark Talk from the Shark Tank. I'm your host, as always, Liam Stevens. To my right, Sharks President, General Manager Russ Curran. To his right, I'm honored to welcome in AJ Pierzynski. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Wish the weather was a little bit warmer, sunnier, but it's okay.
It's a Shark Tank.
Fair amount of sunshine so far this week. AJ, 2005 World Series champion, one of 13 catchers in MLB history with 2,000 hits. Silver Slugger to his name. On top of that list of accolades, he's Austin's dad. Austin spending the 26th season summer with the Vineyard Sharks at the same position, backstop, and that's right where it all started. Obviously, not to age you, but it's been a while since your introduction to the league. You did go pro at 17, I believe.
Yeah.
And Austin, obviously, traversing this insanely complex college landscape. How have you seen this college landscape just evolve over the years?
It was a lot different, obviously, when I graduated in 1994 from high school, so that was over 30 years ago, and there was no transferring. There wasn't the portal. There was no NIL. You kind of just went where you went, and you better like it. And if you didn't, I think you could get one transfer for free, and some of them you had to even sit out a year. But now they can kind of. I feel like now it's better in some ways because now most kids end up where they were supposed to be. Right. If they started at a bigger school and they end up at a smaller school, that's where they probably should have started. And then the kids that started at the smaller school and ends the bigger school is probably where they should have been anyway. So in that respect, I think it's good, but it sucks as a college football fan, an SEC guy. Every year there's new team, or you have a new team, right? Yeah. It's kind of like what your job right here. We have to recruit a new team. And so that part I don't like because there really is no loyalty to a school or to anything. But hey, you can't stop it, so you might as well embrace it. But it's different. It's harder now for high school kids to find the right place to go out of high school. Yeah. Everyone's chasing the LSU, the Tennessee, the Florida, right, the big names. But then they go there, they don't play, and then they transfer out after a year. And so that's the weird part because the bigger schools are recruiting the smaller schools' best players to have them come in. So it's crazy the way it is. And the coaches I know, they have a lot of stress, so I feel for them.
Yeah, and as you said, it's a double-edged sword, right? Players, not a lot of loyalty, but it's the same thing with coaches. I mean, at those top schools, it feels like it's a one-year contract. What can you give me in these next couple months? Is that kind of helping to ruin the development, would you say, of the game, or is it still intact?
I don't think so. I think a lot of coaches still do it right, and they still try. But it is hard when you get a kid for 1 year. It's like here for you guys, right? You get the Sharks for 2 months, and what can you really teach somebody in 2 months? That, the coaches do a great job here, but it's same as in you get a senior kid that comes to your school for 1 year, and what are you going to really? You do your best you can, but at that point they've already had 3 years or 4 years somewhere else, and they're coming in for the 1 year. So it's a little bit different. And plus, I also feel like maybe this is just me being older and the old man on the lawn, but you can't really yell at the kids. You can't really discipline them because they just say, I'll just leave. I'll go somewhere else.
Exactly.
So it's just a different world. Good or bad, I can't say. It's just different.
Yeah. And look, the UAB Blazers are a prime example of that. I believe only 2 starters return. And look, finishing near the top of the conference, despite being picked last. You see it all over, even to the Troy Trojans. I believe 70-something transfers, 75. Probably not an accurate stat. I'll fix that in the editing. In your view, how does summer ball help kind of pressure test these players for the big leagues, that rigorous schedule?
Well, it's funny. Austin played in the Florida League last year out of high school, and it was great. He was coming out of high school, and it was important for him to get to see college-age kids before he got to college, and it helped him play his freshman year. But then I was laughing with him because when I played in the minor leagues, we would take 14-hour bus rides and get to a stadium at a city. We'd leave a city at 2 in the morning, get to a stadium at 4 in the afternoon, and go right to the field and play that night at 7 o'clock. And there was and I was laughing because the first road trip they got back at like 3 in the morning, and they had to take the boat and the bus and all that. And I was like, welcome to the minor leagues, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a good lesson for them. They learn that you have to figure out a way to be ready to play that night. And I think it's a great lesson. You meet new people. You get to travel to places you probably wouldn't go a lot, and the best part is you get to play baseball. How bad could it be?
Especially on the island of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
We are. I mean, I was going to ask you about that, just your impressions. What was your first initial reaction when you heard Austin was going to be playing ball up here?
I was pumped because I'd never been here.
Yeah.
So I'd never been to the Cave, and I'd never been to the Vineyard. So I was super excited. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to go. We've been here for a long time. Now I'm kind of ready to go home. I do love it here, though. But I've been here for about 2 weeks, so I'm kind of ready to go home now. Yeah. But no, the island's awesome. The towns are great. The food's been awesome. All the people have been amazing. It's a really great place. And I told Austin and Kevin, who he plays at UAB with, who's living with him, you get to spend 2 months in Martha's Vineyard. How can you beat that? It's tough to beat that. Most people pay a lot of money, but have to buy a house, rent a house, right? Here you go. You get to do this for free.
I don't know how I'm going to leave this Shark Tank. I mean, I don't know how sustainable any CBL is for my career, but we'll see. Just if you had to put your finger on a favorite establishment, I'm not sure if you have one
here
on the islands.
Oh man, there's been so. I mean, my wife and I just went through a bunch of them at dinner. We've been to Lookout. We've been to Atlantic. We've been to. We just went to Atria with the burger place underneath.
Yep.
Where else? We've been to Raw 3 times.
Okay.
Yep.
We've been Rockfish. We've been to. We've pretty much been everywhere. McPhail's for breakfast. We went to the diner for breakfast this morning. McPhail's was Lee McPhail's family, who's in the Hall of Fame. His son drafted me out of high school, Andy, so kind of a small world,
Yeah. All right, I just want to ask one question on summer ball to you, Russ. Obviously, it's getting a little less sustainable over the years. The Cape League's struggling to find sponsors, and it really, to me, feels like it's the last league where players are really playing for free, obviously, the travel expenses and all that stuff, but there's no contract for these guys. And how long do you think that's going to be able to last in today's atmosphere?
I mean, if it ever gets to a point where we stop paying players to play summer ball, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we go through it every year. We already had 3 guys that are shutting down because they're going to a new school, go back to the transfer portal. So that changes everything, you know. So coaches shut them down because they're going to a new school and they got to leave. So now I got to pick up the pieces and find somebody else. But I mean, we do it, and we just keep doing it and see what happens.
Amen. FUIB. That's the motto you gave us a couple weeks back. We'll let the intuition decide there. I just got 2 more questions really quick. Is there, I bet you've been to a lot of ballparks, I'm sure more than you can even count all over. Is there a ballpark more aptly named for the team than the Shark Tank?
No. I mean, they have a giant shark out there above the press box up there, and it just fits. I cannot believe that the high school is not called the Sharks. I think that is a huge miss, Russ, so you need to get on the petition for that.
They changed the mascot, actually, this year. They didn't have one, or it was the Mariners for a while. And I believe they went to the Makos. So they are going Shark-esque.
They're going Shark-esque, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be.
It's got to be the Sharks. I don't know how it's not, but everything here is all you hear about is Jaws. So it's got to be the Shark. And Mako's not what Jaws was, so it's got to be the Sharks.
Yeah. All right. Actually, final 2. Just if obviously there's a preconception of this being a bit of a vacation destination, a lot of preppier tourists. What have you seen under the covers that the regular visitor might not see?
We had this whole conversation again. It's much more casual here than I thought. I was born in the Hamptons, and I've been there a lot. And you always feel like you have to dress up when you go there. Whereas here, you can go to any restaurant pretty much dressed like I am or dressed like you guys are. There's no place that I've been yet where I'm like, I got to have a jacket on or I got to dress up. It's just, hey, whatever you are, come on in and we'll serve you and we'll have a good time. And you can just be yourself, which is awesome.
1,000%. That's the beauty of it, right? You get such a big mix, even a bunch of foreign workers from all over Jamaica, Eastern Europe. So a really fun mix. Last question, this is a bit of a being selfish here, but you've encountered a lot of broadcasters, a lot of journalists over the years. I'm curious as to if there's any trait that really separates the great ones.
They're themselves. That's the one thing that you have to be yourself. You can't try to be Joe Buck, or you can't try to be whoever your favorite broadcaster is, Joe Davis, or Mike Tirico, or whoever when you look at the long Bob Costas, or whoever your favorite person is. You can't try to be them. You have to be yourself, and you're going to develop your own style. And I think as long as you're authentic and you're yourself, people will respect that. And listen, everyone's different. Everyone has different tastes. And I know this doing TV like I do for Fox. The way I look at it is if you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, and both fans are mad at you, then you nailed your job, because that means you're right down the middle. Because you'll get tweets 1 minute, you hate Team A, and then 30 seconds later, you hate Team B. Well, which one do I must hate both of them equally if the fans are mad. So that means you're doing a good job, and you just have to be yourself and enjoy it and have fun. It's a game, and you're supposed to be entertaining, and you're supposed to be enjoying the moment. And I think that's the biggest thing sometimes people forget. They want to make it about something instead of make it about the game and enjoy the game.
Yeah, and that's where we'll try to leave it. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. It means the world to us. Any last impressions? If you had to describe Russ to someone who's never met him before, how would you do so?
Typical masshole.
Perfect.
With the accent.
Yeah, of course. He won't give me a fins up, but I'll do it. Thank everybody so much for tuning in. We'll be back.